Hello everybody, it is Nicole from Mikiwi, and today I have a review for you guys. Today I'm reviewing the Arteza Woodless Watercolor Pencils. As a disclaimer, I did receive these items for free in exchange for my honest review, so let's go ahead and get started. So first, it comes in this plastic packaging, is very neat and organized, but it's pretty difficult to open. These are kind of the plastic packagings you have to use scissors with and be careful of sharp edges. The claims that this has is that it has 5 times more lead than regular color pencils, which I believe. It creates even strokes with minimal pressure, good for adult watercolors, non-toxic, woodless, and environmentally friendly, can be sharpened with any sharpener, and it has a lacquer coat to prevent from smudging. So they do come pre-sharpened, but I did sharpen mine before I used them because when they came in the package, they had a flat top and I didn't want that, so I just sharpened them. They're very easy to sharpen. It seems very smooth when sharpening it, but be careful on over sharpening because I've heard that they can break pretty easily and I could feel it too, but I didn't sharpen mine that sharp. First thing I noticed when looking at the colors and swatching them, vermilion and magenta seem to be mixed up. The colors and the barrel names are mixed up because last time I checked, vermilion was a red orange and magenta was a red purple, and they seem to be swapped. Just the names though. The pencils themselves work just fine and they seem to represent the colors pretty well. The pack comes with 24 different colors. I feel like they have a little bit more of reds and oranges than the other colors. When I was doing my image and coloring it, I did use mostly greens and purples and pinks, but I feel like the pinks, especially the more reddish purples and pinks that I was using, magenta I guess, they didn't have that many, especially because the pink seemed to be a very, very light pink and there was like no middle ground between that and the violet or something. And then the greens, I just used 2 greens. I think there's only 2 anyways. One of them was teal, so I didn't use that one, but it was a normal green and then a really light green. And the light green turned out to be kind of neon when I first used it. I wanted to use it for the plants. Of course, using only 2 greens means there's only 2 tones of plants leaves. So I think if they want to expand this pack and make more colors, I think that's a good possibility. It would also bring a lot more variety to the images we can make. Of course, you can mix and such, but just going off the surface level of what they are, I think more colors would benefit it. I think the colors blend very well together. I think they're pretty saturated depending on how much pressure you use. I ended up using very light pressure for, say, the leaves that I colored, and they actually had a lot of pigment come out even though I didn't press that hard, which is kind of cool because that means that they're very pigmented, they have a lot of product in them. It's a water-soluble solution, so if you put water on it, then it will blend together. The most fun I had was blending the leaves because I used the darker color underneath it, or on top of it, I guess, and then the light green under and blended it together. Of course, when you try to blend when the water is still there, your pencil might kind of disappear. So I would suggest waiting until it's dry until before you add more color. I think this is good for base coloring, but for this image particularly, I found that there weren't enough colors for me to work with, so I ended up using Arteza's real brush pens to add more dimension. But to get the basics and to get like the shadows on the pots and stuff, it was pretty good. I like them, and I think they're really good to use for if you're out sketching and you want to add watercolor but you don't want to bring like a whole watercolor set, then just put on some of this watercolor pencil, and then when you get home, just add water and it will be done. So the price for these I found on their website, arteza.com, is $19.99, and from what I saw on Google, it is $9 shipping. And then on Amazon, it is $25 for 24. That's the main set of 24. And if you want to be specific, it's $24.99 on Amazon. Depending on if you have Prime or not, it can be free shipping or it can be like $7. But keep in mind that these were originally around $70, so they did go down significantly in price and they're on sale. So now that we're done talking about the product, let's talk a little bit about the drawing that I'm doing. I'm doing Inktober, and I did a Love Witch. I decided to do the Love Witch in the way that she's giving love to her plants, and I chose plants that kind of look like hearts. So I don't know what the one that's kind of leafy but red is called, but one of them is the Bleeding Heart, I believe. And yeah, so I feel like the color decision kind of backfired on me in the end. I didn't really know where I was going with it, which I should have done a color study, but I don't usually, but I should have. Although I'm not completely disappointed in this image and how it turned out. I really like the blending of it. I like the colors in the end. I really like how that plant turned out. Using references really helps. And I think in the end, I ended up getting what I wanted or what I had imagined in my head. One thing I really like was the blending on the watering can. That was totally unintentional, but it totally worked out really well. So maybe I'll try to incorporate that technique. Basically, the technique is flooding your paper with water. Also, if you guys are curious, that mark on the side of the paper is where I ripped it on accident because I used tape to section off a part of it and it was too sticky, so it just ripped off a piece of the paper. So when you're using tape, be careful. Careful of what you use, because apparently Scotch painter's tape is not a good option. The brown one. The blue one seems to be okay, but be careful. Anyways, that is it for today's review on the Arteza woodless watercolor pencils. I had a lot of fun using them and trying them out. I had tried watercolor pencils before, but they didn't work very well. But these ones are very smooth and really fun to work with, so I would give them a try if you like to sketch on the go and maybe you don't want to bring a watercolor set. You can just put these pencils in your pencil pouch and then add water to them later and ta-da, watercolor piece. Don't forget to look down below for the links if you guys are interested. There will be a link to their website and a link to the actual product that I'm talking about. So don't forget in the description. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. Keep drawing, keep painting, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!